There are people painting outside, so you may or may not hear them throughout the video. I apologize in advance. Hey guys, what's up? JD from JD Tech TV here, and welcome to episode 3 of my monthly Q&A series, Ask JD Tech TV. Once a month, I ask for your questions either on Twitter or through my YouTube community, and I like to answer them on screen. And like all of my other Q&A videos, my wife is actually the one that picks all of the questions. So if your question doesn't get picked, don't get mad at me, but I think it's better this way because all the questions are right here. I haven't read them yet, and it's better because instead of it kind of all the answers kind of coming off of one of these things to where you kind of think about the answers, it just kind of comes off the top of your head. It comes out of this area things with the stuff. But in the future, if you want to have a chance to have your questions answered on an episode just like this, make sure to follow me on Twitter and ask me a question with the hashtag AskJDTechTV. Also, if you leave a nice note to my wife, maybe that will help you get it picked as well. So let's get into it. Alrighty, first question is, how is your day going? It's pretty great actually. Thank you so much for asking. How are you? That was a good way to start off, babe. I like that one. Alright, second question is, I recently joined the JD Tech TV fam Discord channel. What are the advantages of using Discord versus something like Slack? Thanks. So yeah, this is probably a good time for me to mention that I do have a Discord page, and I'll go ahead and place the link kind of down here, or I'll also place it in the description down below so you can come and join literally the best Discord server in the entire world, the JD Tech TV fam Discord server. It's not the greatest one. I mean, it's small, but you know, it'll get there. It'll get there. So just come and join so we can chat on there and we can talk about the stuff and the things and the words. Yep. What was the question? Oh yeah, so there's really not that many differences between Slack and Discord. Both of them are online chat clients. Both of them are a really good alternative to something like Skype. And it's basically just a way for people in communities to talk to each other across multiple platforms. But from what I've experienced is that Slack is typically used more in the business world, and Discord is used more in the gaming community as they use it as a way to chat during playing online games. Naturally, this kind of linked up very well with things like Twitch and YouTube gaming, and Discord seems to be positioning themselves to be synonymous with YouTube, which is a pretty great strategy, and it seems to be working pretty well since there's a ton of YouTubers that are using it. But I haven't been using Discord for all that long, but I've been really enjoying it. In fact, I've been going there for an hour after each one of my videos have posted, so make sure to click that notification button so you know exactly when a new video drops. That way you'll know kind of how long I'm gonna be in the Discord room so you can come and say what's up to me live. How long does it take to edit and upload your tech, etc. videos? Hashtag AskJDTechTV. Thank you for using that hashtag, sir. It depends on the video really. It also depends on if I'm shooting here in the studio or if I'm out on location shooting. It sort of varies, but it depends on what you're talking about. If you're talking about the beginning of an idea of a video, trying to figure out what videos to make, that could take days, a week, or even weeks. But I think what you're speaking of specifically is just the starting process and the ending process of one specific video, starting from scripting. So it goes from scripting, then it goes to the setup, goes from the filming, editing, thumbnail, the uploading, the SEO work, and the social media management. On the short end, that would take 5 to 6 hours if it's a light video, and on the upper end, it could take anywhere between probably 10 to 12 hours depending on how intensive the editing is. And the majority of that time is actually spent in editing because even though I script and I tend to kind of do rough outlines so I can kind of see the direction that I need to take it, so it helps me in the editing process later that I can sort of find the story within the editing process. So part of the direction comes from the scripting, but most of it comes from the editing, which that's about 80% of the work. So 5 to 6 hours and 10 to 12 hours, kind of depending. You're stuck on a secluded island with only 3 pieces of tech. What are they and why? And you can't use the tech to aid and rescue, like a cell phone to call for help, etc. Dang man, Andrew is always coming strong with these questions. I absolutely love it. Keep them coming. And he actually also has a YouTube channel. Worth checking him out. Links down below. 3 pieces of tech, and they can't be used to call for help. I mean, maybe like a solar powered battery pack would be a good thing, but then I have to have something that needs battery in order to work. And I feel like that's the battery pack is kind of being a wasted item So I'd rather find something to survive that doesn't require batteries. I mean, I guess anything that has been man-made is technically technology, and not necessarily in the traditional sense that we think of as something like a cell phone, but just a technological advancement. So I would go with like the 3 standbys for something like this. I would go with like a magnesium strip, like a flint of some kind to start a fire. I would also go with like a multi-tool of some kind for obvious reasons, like small pocket multi-tool or something. And then I'd also go with like, I think I would bring one of those like 1 pound coffee tins, like an empty coffee tin. That way I can put water in it and then I can boil the water that I need to drink and survive. So kind of a cop-out answer, but you know, that's what you get whenever these are like off the top of my head. So, you know, survival. That was a really good question. I like that a lot. Nice pick. And that's actually a really good question for all of you. Let me know in the comments down below what 3 tech items you would bring to a secluded island. What is the meaning of life? Oh, it's pizza. No, I'm just kidding. The real answer to life, the universe, and everything is, of course, 42. Look it up. Wait a minute, these are from 2 different people. Do you want me to read them like it's... Oh, it's because the questions are similar. I see what you're doing, babe. Good looking out. The first question is, what is your mindset on Android? Do you have an iPhone because of the brand? And the second question is, outside of the ecosystem, what feature would Android have to bring to get you to switch to Android, or is it purely the ecosystem? Well, I like Android. I've actually owned Android phones and tablets in the past, like a lot of them, and I don't really get into this whole Apple versus Android thing. I think it's kind of a waste of time because they each have their ups and downs, but I ended up going back to Apple because Apple, at the time that I switched back, just had certain features that I wanted at the time, and it didn't specifically matter that it was Apple, it just mattered that they had that feature. So to me, it's feature over brand. But typically I would switch back and forth between like an iPhone and an Android phone kind of like every year or every other year. That was until the Apple AirPods came out. The Apple AirPods worked so well for me and actually ended up becoming one of my favorite things that I've purchased ever. So since I've gotten them, it's sort of tethered me to the iPhone and I haven't left it since. I've been really interested in the Galaxy S9 as of late. It looks absolutely incredible, and I've been interested in the Pixel 2 XL for about a year now since it's come out. I've really wanted to switch over to those, but the thing that's kept me around in the Apple ecosystem is definitely, yep, I do have these in my pocket, are the Apple AirPods, and what would bring me over to an Android again is an Android version of these. I really thought that the Pixel Buds were going to be the thing that was going to bring me back over to the Android side, but they didn't really live up to the hype for me. Now, the Jaybird Runs are actually a pretty good competitor and a good alternative to the Apple AirPods for the Android side. However, it's kind of a lateral move. They're just as good as the Apple AirPods in many, many ways, but it's not an upgrade to the Apple AirPods. So if I'm gonna switch over sides and gonna change off all of my stuff from my iPhone over to an Android, I don't wanna move laterally, I wanna move up. So I guess, yeah, I hate to say this, but I think it really is the ecosystem that tends to keep me around because, you know, I have the Apple AirPods, I have an Apple TV, I have a MacBook, and they all just seamlessly work together so well that it's really easy to get caught in that ecosystem web. So until something better than these comes out, I think I'm gonna be sticking with Apple. What is your stance on pineapple on pizza? Pineapple on pizza is a war crime as far as I'm concerned, but you know what? As bad as pineapple on pizza is, the person who came up with mint chocolate chip is still at large. That is the worst. What is a piece of tech you thought that you would love but was disappointed after having / using it? I mean, dang man, you trying to get me in trouble with some of these companies that I'm working with? I don't know. Oh, I know, Snapchat spectacles. I was so hyped for those things. I wasn't really into Snapchat at the time, and I really thought that that was gonna be the thing that was gonna bring me into that world, and I was so excited for it, but I absolutely hated those things after using it like 2 times. They were just uncomfortable, they didn't work all the time, and it kind of took away from the whole Snapchat experience, and I didn't really understand why they existed. But those spectacles were probably the beginning of the end for Snapchat as a company because, for those of you who don't know, Snapchat isn't doing very well. In fact, I'll go ahead and go on record with a prediction. I would be shocked if Snapchat made it out of 2018. In fact, I'd be shocked if they made it another 6 months without being bought out by another company or just closing in general, but I'll be a little bit optimistic and I'll give them until the end of the year. So just so you can go ahead and start the grieving process, I'll go ahead and tell you now, Snapchat is dead. So go ahead and get used to just using Instagram instead, which isn't really a bad alternative. It's just that nothing can really go right for Snapchat recently, and a lot of it is actually their own fault. So it started with the spectacles, and they were focusing on hardware when they're a software company, and those just massively failed. In fact, they have hundreds of thousands of leftover stock of the spectacles just sitting in warehouses. And if that wasn't bad enough, Kylie Jenner just releases a tweet talking about how much that the new Snapchat update is just absolutely terrible, which it was. But then the stock of Snapchat plummets $1.3 billion with a buh. And then while the company was trying to recover from that devastating blow, then there was the Rihanna incident. And if you don't know what that is, just go ahead and Google it. It was a terrible situation, incredibly insensitive thing to happen. And it was pretty bad. That caused the stock to plummet again. So with all that stuff, you would think that they would try to go back to the drawing board and go back to what they were good at, what made them successful in the first place. And that was software. Try to fix the app, try to make it better, try to make an evolution of the Snapchat app and make it better than ever. But no, they think that it's a really good idea to come out with the Spectacles 2. So the hardware problems with the Spectacles 1 is what caused this downfall. In the first place, they're going to make more hardware, the Spectacles 2, which is inevitably just going to cause a further downtick. And I mean, the company is essentially committing suicide. I have never seen anything like this on this level. It's absolutely blowing my mind. So go ahead and get used to hearing this and get this in your head. Snapchat has one foot in the grave and it's essentially dead. So just get over it and move on to better things that are out there, like my Discord server. I'll go ahead and put the links right here down below and put the links in the description so you can come and chat with me live after this episode right now and after every episode. Like how I put that little plug in there? Discord. Well, this seems like probably a good place to stop. Thank you everyone for all the questions that you asked. If I didn't get to your questions, don't worry. I typically like to go back into Twitter and back into my YouTube community and answer some of the questions that I didn't get to. And I'll also be able to answer those questions live in my Discord server, which I will be there for an hour after this episode. Just make sure, and this is really important, to click that notification button so you can be the first to know when one of my new videos goes live right when it happens, not like 45 minutes to an hour later, when I'm already gone from the Discord server room. You kind of see what I'm saying here? Hitting that notification button not only helps me, but it helps you out as well. And while you're down there, if you haven't hit that subscribe button, go ahead and hit that as well. And smash that like button since it's all kind of in the same area. You might as well do a triple click there and help me out. That would be greatly appreciated. Just make sure to follow me on Twitter at JDTechTV so you'll be able to get your questions in for next month's episode. So that's it. Thank you everybody for watching. And as always, I'll see you soon.